The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the pit completely. It's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck. Good
evening, race fans. I'm Samuel Ryman, and New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the Premier Racing League welcome you tonight to the New England 125. We look forward to 125 laps of V8 pick-em-up truck short track ball ring action. Joining me tonight are the lumberjack Sean Ambrose and the man behind the curtain running the show, our director Joe Peake. He'll be using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. We've got 9 races left this year, including tonight's, which takes us to the track known as the Magic Mile. Sean, New Hampshire is a track that is tougher than it looks. Tell us a little bit about this challenging 1 mile facility.
All right, we're going to start a segment of Did You Know? Did you know that in 1989, it became the first super speedway to be constructed in the United States since 1969? Yes, that's right.
No,
yes,
I did not know that.
It's also located on 1,200 beautiful acres. This multi-use complex is the largest sports facility in New England. Yes, even bigger than that place the Patriots play at. It does feature this 1.058 mile oval speedway with a seating capacity of about 88,000 and a 1.6 glorious mile road course. Love that road course. We're not running it tonight though. The oval's turns are a consistent 375 feet radius and length measured on the inside of the track and have a variable banking between 2 and 7 degrees, Sam. According to the latest census numbers, the population within 200 miles of this track is about more than 18 million people, so they service a pretty large area. Now, let's hop on board the GSRC truck for a ride around the Magic Mile.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yasek, taking you for a spin today around the New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the GSRC Chevrolet Silverado. New Hampshire is a flat 1 mile oval, pretty much a really fun racetrack to run on, so I'll show you how to get around here. Going off into turn 1, let it roll through the top groove right here. It's kind of backwards from what you would expect at a traditional oval. Roll through the middle, back onto the gas, really get on the power on the exit of the corner. The lower horsepower in the truck is really going to help you stay planted off of the corner. Down off into turn 3 again, ride this top groove all the way through the middle of the corner. Let it roll back into the gas right there at about that 75-80% mark on the corner. Across the line here, going off into turn 1 again. Same brake point, going and rolling the top groove. New Hampshire pretty much drives the same no matter what car you're driving in here. As you see coming off at turn 2, so once you learn it in one car, you pretty much have it down in the other cars as well. Turn 3, once again, let it roll this top groove. Make sure to not get in too hot. Run up there against that gray. There's no grip up there. Roll back onto the gas all the way out of the exit of the corner, out of turn 4, and across the line. And that's going to complete our track guide around the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the GSRC Chevrolet Silverado. I'm Brian Yasek. Enjoy the show.
Well, that is a lap around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So we've learned a lot after that, and also Sean's Did You Know segment. Let's learn a little bit more. Let's learn about what our race is going to be like tonight. Well, we mentioned we're in the closing stages of a championship. There you see there, round 23 of 31, 125 laps, 125 miles. Do some math here, try and work out how many miles it is per lap. A fixed setup, that means everyone's racing the same setup, so if you're up front, I guess it means you're a bit of a better driver than the rest. Let's wait and see who ends up in the winner's circle tonight on Victory Lane. Fast repairs, 0. Yep, can't do that. If you damage your truck, you gotta fix it the old-fashioned way by driving down pit road and, well, I guess there really aren't people there to pull out the fenders, but your fenders will get pulled out somehow. 81 degrees Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, so the track is cool, so hopefully we shouldn't see that those fast repairs be used too much. Well, that the optional repairs rather be used too much tonight, Sean, as qualifying right now is getting started.
Well, Sam, okay, 81 degrees is the temperature outside, so it's partly cloudy. On track, though, this might be a record for a PRL event. It's 109 degrees on the track surface tonight, so grip certainly going to be at a premium. Now, the halfway point, lap 63 tonight, and that's where we'll award that famous American Pool Supply halfway award to a lucky driver. And I think it's going to take a lucky driver to get to that halfway point tonight, because the speeds down these long straightaways, you're really cranking. I literally can get up to about 160 miles an hour heading into turn 1 and to turn 3, and then you've got to slow the truck down. These trucks are kind of heavy, not a lot of weight in the rear end. They get a little loose, and well, we'll see who can manage this setup at 109 degrees on the track. It is a fixed setup here in this league, so you would think everybody is on the same level playing field, but in the end it'll come down to driver skill as qualifying is underway, and many drivers starting to get in their first lap. Some have already gotten in too, but right now provisionally Paul Pepper at the top of the charts.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Sean, 109 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. Boy, I'm not used to... sorry, I missed that. I guess I can blame the thermometers this far up north in the United States. Maybe aren't used to going over 3 digits. Mine just wasn't working. Sean, let's take a look at these point standings, actually, because it is getting interesting in these closing rounds.
Well, it is, and the guy sitting up top is James Krahula right now. He is 16 points to the good over Brian Yazik. And the interesting thing about this is that James Krahula hasn't won any races this season. Yazik has. He's won 4 of them, but still finds himself looking up. Now, Tyler Dalton is still well within a chance to take down this championship. He's only 50 points back from Krahula. So, there's certainly an opportunity. Now, when we get a little further back, Rick Thompson, Jeff Gow are battling for that 4th and 5th place spot with Tim Johnston right there, but they sit in that 140 to 170 point range back. Boy, they better start winning some races. Gow is the only one of those 3 that has this season. All the way back to 10th place, you've got John Wilco. Here's the interesting one. Jeff Ward currently sits in 8th place, Sam, in the points. He's 211 points out. He's only started 12 races this season, but here's the big number. He's won 8 races. And right now, I'm looking on the board, Jeff Ward hasn't even taken a qualifying lap. He's on his out lap now. Let's see where he puts this.
About this, Sean. I mean... Oh, yeah, you are correct. I'm getting him mixed up with Scott Eckridge here, because Scott Eckridge and Jeff Ward were our fastest in practice, and sure enough, there we see Ward go to the top. However, Scott Eckridge grazed the wall, I believe, on both of his qualifying times, so our driver who's fastest in practice will be forced to start from the rear of the field.
Yeah, and with Eckridge, I never know if he's actually running or if he's going to be in race control, but the fact that he came out and took a lap in qualifying leads me to believe he might actually be running tonight, so we'll see. Yazik out there now, coming around here. This will be his first time lap, or his second? This will be his second.
Yes, and there he goes up to 3rd.
Yeah, he had a little scuff of the wall there in his first lap, which disqualified it, but the one that counted, he got it in, and he is going to be on that second row right now.
All right, well, the track is quiet right now. There's no trucks out there turning in a qualifying lap, as just 5 minutes left of this qualifying session. Then they'll advance to the race session. Let's talk about our field here tonight. We currently have 24 drivers signed up. The fastest, as we mentioned in practice, was Scott Eckridge, Jeff Ward, Tyler Dalton, Paul Pepper, and Brian Yazik. 16 drivers have qualified, and right now the provisional front row is Jeff Ward and Tyler Dalton. So Ward looking to win that MP3 Designs Pole Award.
Yeah, and Sam, I think it's pretty safe to say he's probably won it at this point. We've just got a little over 4 minutes left to go here in the qualifying session, and I don't see anybody else making a break for the track. I'll say we'll call it. We'll give that MP3 Designs Pole Award to Mr. Jeff Ward. Another one for him here in the Premier Racing League. Doesn't matter which vehicle, whether it be the truck, the Grand National, or the Cup car. He's racking up these MP3 Pole Awards. The trophy case is full with MP3 awards, that's for sure. You see him run it up near the wall here. He's going to bring it back down to the low side of the track. And he's going to roll it back up to the wall, Sam. Wide open on the pedal here.
Yeah, kind of a bit of a Talladega approach to starting his first qualifying lap, wasn't it? Use up all of the racetrack so he could get as good of a run, as high as a top speed as he possibly could, heading into turn 1 to start his qualifying lap. You see there out of turn 2, using up all the track. He was right up alongside the wall all the way down to turn 3, really using that higher groove to get around here, Sean, and that's going to make passing a bit complicated tonight when it comes to this racetrack. Tracks where the higher groove is really the preferred groove, there's only 2 ways you can really pass. You can try and do the slide job on the inside, or other than that, you're probably going to have to use the chrome horn, because no one's just going to give you that high lane.
You're definitely right about that, Sam. But Jeff's big lap there, a 31.204. Now, only him and Tyler Dalton, they were the only ones to hit 31.2, so they classed the field here in qualifying, but we'll have Yazik and Pepper starting there right behind him. So, boy, this is going to be a great start to this race, and you need a little heat in the tires here to build up that grip, and it's going to be a big deal tonight. Like I said here, this track at 109 degrees is going to be tough to master.
And Brad Collins just almost did something I've never seen before, and that is flip a car on the racetrack, just by turning it really sharply during his qualifying run. However, I have a feeling they're not allowing him to do that, as we'll get a replay of it here. Because I believe, there you go, how do you pull that one off? I believe in the only time these drivers get to qualify is the first 5 minutes of a session, and then the second 5 minutes of the qualifying session is reserved for a drivers meeting, just to go over the rules, make sure everyone's going to be up to speed here tonight, Sean, because I think, and Sean, this is probably the most important question I will ask you tonight: do you like dogs?
I love dogs, and I love our dog here in the Premier Racing League, Brutus.
You saw where I was going with this. Well done.
I did, and Brutus is a good dog, man, and I think we'll see Brutus a few times tonight. He's going to get a chance to stretch his legs, Sam. Let's go on down trackside for the presentation of this nation's colors here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Alright, and now we have advanced to the race session with the conclusion of the United States National Anthem, so let's have a look at the grid tonight. And as we've already mentioned, it is Jeff Ward starting on pole position ahead of Tyler Dalton. Brian Yazik and Paul Pepper will be on row 2 behind them, ahead of Derek Paulson rounding up the top 5. Jeff Gow there completes row number 3. Travis McQueistron is starting 7th ahead of Rick Thompson, and Jonathan Lawrence is in 9th place, and a great qualifying effort by Norman Pelletier starting in 10th place, even though he was only 17th fastest in practice, Sean.
All right, Sam, and we drop back to 11th here. Row 6 is going to be Woody Mahan there, and Jeff Ryan, the Georgian, will start in 12th. Billy Tungate, 13th tonight. Justin Rodden, 14th. Row 8 going to be Snoop Doggy Don Runkle there in 15th. 16th going to go to John Rodden. 17th, Scott Eckridge, so he is running. 18th going to be Tommy Ryan. 19th, Brad Collins. 20th, State Senator Fred Thompson. And not really. John Wilco will start 21st. Casey Campbell 22nd. And Stephen Herring 23rd.
And talking about our nation's colours, Sean, and then a senator there on track. How many presidents of it? Okay, well, I'll tell you that part. One president in the United States was born in the month of September. Which one do you believe it was?
Oh, geez.
More did you know here, trivia.
Which president was born in September? Donald Trump. Why not?
Howard Taft.
Howard Taft,
Yeah,
okay.
September 15.
Very jolly Howard Taft, if I remember correctly. He was a man of size.
Alright, the one driver we're waiting for on the grid right now, Sean, is Scott Eckridge. So I'm almost wondering if you're right about him doing the race control here tonight, which is going to move everyone who would have started behind him on the inside lane up a couple positions. That's James Kahula goes from 19 to 17, Fred Thompson goes from 21 to 19, and Casey Campbell, instead of starting 23rd, will essentially start 21st. Now, 1 mile racetrack, so they'll just get one pace lap around here. Jeff Ward will be starting on, honestly, the undesirable inside line, but of course the advantage he is going to have here in that dark blue number 89 truck is he gets to control when the field goes. So if he can get a good enough jump on Tyler Dalton, he'll have a racetrack to himself by the time they get to turns 1 and 2, and hopefully, if for Ward's sake, he'll be able to lead on his own out of turn 2. Of course, Tyler Dalton in that 19 truck on the outside is going to try and do every single thing he can to make sure that Ward is not able to pull that off. Although granted, we are in for a long race. Pace car is off, trucks on the loud pedal, green flag is out, and we are racing here at New Hampshire. Ward does indeed get a great start. The battle is going to be on for second.
And our lineup got all messed up. We had a few guys take EOLs, Jeff Ryan, Woody Mahan going to the back of the field. Everybody getting through turn 2 pretty smooth here. I haven't seen anybody lose it off of 2 yet. Nope, we're all settled down the back stretch.
Very easy to do, especially I'm sure Sean on older tyres towards the end of a race. Now I'm not seeing James Kahula on track, so we've got 22 trucks out here and they've all made it around lap 1 cleanly.
It looks like Kahula might have dropped connection, Sam, right before we got started.
Already see a couple of trucks brushing the wall exit in turn 2 this time, and Cody Campbell was one of them towards the tail end of the field, but he wasn't the only one. Fortunately, no trucks sustaining major damage. That's some of those optional repairs you'll be able to try and get repaired when they come down pit road, because I'm sure with the flat banking here, Sean, you're probably going to want to come on pit road when there's a caution.
Yeah, definitely. Boy, John Rodden already having some trouble early in the Arc Best Toyota. He grabs the wall back in turn 2 and 3. Oh, we got a truck off down in the grass. John Wilco down there.
Now we stay green. If his truck had turned around, it would have brought the caution out. If it turned around while he was in the grass, it wouldn't have brought the caution out because he's not on the racetrack. Honestly, it looked like he kept that straight for the most part, though.
He did.
Yeah, and stays on the lead lap. He's going to be hoping for a quick caution and try and get caught back up, and he probably hurt his tyres.
He did not pick up any damage on his truck. Still moving along just fine. The Toyota, though, is all the way at the back of the pack. Looks like Kahula's out. Yes, there you go, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, how many laps is he down here, though? I think it's going to be about 4. Now we'll see him passing a couple of the tail enders here because he has slightly newer tyres. No big movers in the top 10 early on here, Sean. The biggest thing I guess you could say is Derek Paulson. It looks like has dropped back a couple of positions,
Yeah.
started 5th down to 7th.
And Sam, Casey Campbell just had trouble coming off a turn 2 car. The truck got loose. He goes down into the grass, keeps it just barely off the wall. He actually does smack it, and then he goes to the safety road. Going to bring it down around the apron, probably heading to the pits. Actually, no, he brings it back up on the track.
Yeah, once again, if you can avoid it, you really don't want to pit because you'll probably lose a lap or two around here.
Yeah, there he is on the replay. That green and white truck just comes around, almost keeps it off, and then it slides, and he does a tank slapper right there at the end of that Armco barrier.
Luckily, there's not a porta pod the other side of that barrier anymore. Good battle for 12th on track, but it's not good news for Don Runkle Jr. I think he was trying to pull off a pass on the inside line. Problem is if that fails, you might get freight trained on the high side. That's what Tommy Ryan and Brad Collins are going to try and do here. Ryan and Collins, 2 drivers that did not qualify, and they're trying to carve their way through the field.
They had a plan. They wanted that. They wanted that EOL for a reason. Oh, Norm Pelletier off of 2, loose down into that Armco barrier, just like everybody else has.
Well, this one was uglier than the other 2. He hit the wall front on pretty hard, but it hasn't cost him as much time. The wall kind of just spun him back around. He kept on going, and so he rejoins the race in 17th position. Here's a replay. But he's going to want to get that repaired.
Yeah, and what he's got to hope, he's going to have to watch his gauges going forward here, is that he's not hurt the cooling on that machine. Oil temp or water temp could be going up as we speak.
Tell you, a driver that helped gain a position was Justin Rodden. He's really been on the move. He was 19th fastest in practice, nothing to brag about. Neither was his 14th place qualifying effort, but he's already moved his way up to 9th place.
Tommy Ryan taking another position away, just took that one away from Jonathan Lawrence. Tommy's digging hard. He did it coming out of turn 4, set him up down the front straightaway, took the position, and now 10 laps in, Ryan up 7 spots. Almost a position per lap there, almost.
I have to start wondering, Sean, we haven't seen our little doggy friend early on in the race here. Are some of these big movers early on going to suffer in the long run with tyre wear, with using up their tyres too early?
Well, I can definitely tell you, with 109 degrees on track, tires are certainly going to be issue. They're going to be an issue. They're going to be screaming for them here in about, I'd say somewhere between about 5 and 10 laps. They're going to wish that they have a caution, get some fresh rubber. Now, James Grahula right now stands to get a lap back should there be a caution. He is 4 laps down. A little bit of luck. James could be a contender to win this race before the evening's over. Oh man, Yazik gets a piece of the wall coming out of turn 2. Just a piece of it, but it was enough to break his momentum there towards getting to Paul Pepper.
Yeah, and look what's going on in front of Paul Pepper. Tyler Dalton has really run down Jeff Ward after Ward got a nice start. However, he isn't challenging for that top position yet. Good battle for 12th going on once again. This position really seems to be prestigious this early on in the race for some reason. Looks like Don Runkle Jr. is going to come out with it. No, Dr. Brad Collins really makes a power move through the inside there. In fact, Don Runkle Jr., that inside line is killing him on exit, being passed all the way down the back straight.
Yeah, Woody Mahan picking up spots there. Wow, Woody up to 13th. Hey, listen, up front, our leader is under threat right now. Ty Dalton has got that Chevrolet cranked up, baby. Carolina driver starting to put a little pressure on Jeff Ward. They got some traffic coming up just in front of him. It's Casey Campbell, who had trouble early.
That's not good news for James Kahula. Once Campbell goes a lap down, he will be in the lucky dog position. And that's about to happen right now. It's always tricky being a lapped car on the racetrack that has a higher groove, because I always feel your natural tendency is to go up high to let the faster car by you down low, but actually you're kind of pinching their line when you do that. Meanwhile, there's been a change for ninth place, Sean. It looked like Justin Rodden got a little bit of a wall coming out at turn 2.
Kind of opened things up for Tommy Ryan to pick up yet another spot. The Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet is strong this evening. Tommy seems to have a grip on it right now, and starting at the back, I don't know if that's a strategy he felt like he needed to play out, but it's working for him right now. He's only 8.5 seconds off the leader, Jeff Ward, so right now, not a bad place to be for Tommy Ryan. You see Woody Mahan here on screen trying to pick up another spot here for Brad Collins. Woody just keeps moving up here through the field, and he slipped early, so he's trying to get a couple positions back. Good side-by-side battle, trying to find the grip down low. Got to win this drag race down the backstretch.
Mahan pulls in front to make sure he secures that 12th position. Everyone seems to be gunning for a P number 12 today, and he's the one with the number on his truck, so he claims ownership of it for now. Bit of a moment excellent turn 2 for Jeff Gow. We haven't mentioned him a whole lot, but he's running in 6th place with Derek Paulson not too far behind him. Gow qualified 6th, running 6th right now, but got a little bit loose excellent turn 2 last time, so we'll see if he's burning off the tyres here in the early stages, if Paulson is able to take advantage of that.
Paulson got off to a little bit of a slow start, Sam. He's lost a couple spots, and right now seems to be tracking pretty well here to get to Gow. But Sam, we're coming around here, go across the line, start working on lap 20 already, and yeah, I think these drivers want tires at this point. The tires will not outlast the fuel, so we'll see what kind of strategies are played out here. I certainly hope the green flag stays out, because I would love to see a cycle of green flag pit stops, see how far these guys can push it here at the Magic Mile. Oh, and just as I say that, Gow gets into the wall coming out of 2. Kind of opening things up here for Paulson. Paulson looking to the bottom. Got that lap truck in front of him, the 75 of Casey Campbell. So almost rubbing door handles there. Paulson got that Chevrolet cranked up here coming across the line.
Yeah, I mean, Campbell's entitled to take whichever lane he wants, and he wants to take a higher lane, but once again, I don't know if that's actually working for these lead lap trucks. They probably prefer him to be down low. Fortunately, this battle was able to get by Campbell, but now Campbell's got another battle in his rearview mirror for 8th place with Tommy Ryan. Remember him? Started 18th, up to 9th. Well, he's got half of the trucks behind him, now just the other half to go. Unfortunately, they'll be a bit tougher for him, but not Rick Thompson. Easily able to get 8th place.
Yeah, boy, he took that away real quick. Tommy has now reached the next grouping of trucks that he's, got to get past, and boy, already got himself up into the top 10, the top 5, not very far in front of him.
Tell you someone we should give an update on, Sean, is Norm Pelletier. Let's not forget he had that spin and hit the wall with his nose pretty hard. We wondered if his truck would still be able to run okay with no engine problems. He's turning pretty good lap times, and he's in 16th place now, closing in on 15th on Don Brunkel Jr.
Yeah, he does have Don just in front of him. In fact, they're on board with Don now, looking out back, just over the spoiler there on that truck. Norm taking a look to the inside. Here he comes. He's gonna get it. Don's getting a good run off the top. They're still next to each other. Norm not able to pull ahead of him. Don breaking a little bit later, going into this turn. Yeah, now Norm's got the momentum.
Yeah, I think her uncle may have gone a little bit too high there, probably got out of a racing groove. Also, Pelletier does seem like he has a faster truck at this stage, or has found something.
Oh, and just as we say that, Pelletier off the track. Oh no, that was horrible. And that brings out the yellow. Pelletier off of 2. Oh, he really hit it hard that time, and there's heavy smoke coming out of the back of that truck. Here's the replay. He's just going to lose the grip, Sam.
Of course, this is good news for everyone except for Pelletier, not necessarily because they didn't want to race him, but because they were probably tired of their old tyres, and now they'll get to come in and get those replaced. It's also good news for you, the viewers at home, except for the Pelletier fans, because it means you get to see Brutus, the lucky dog, and he is going to be awarded to Fred Thompson, driving the number 46, was the first truck 1 lap down when the caution came out.
Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. There's Brutus. Good dog, Brutus. Brutus likes New Hampshire this time of year, the weather up here. Beautiful day out here on track. Well, not necessarily on track. It's hot on track. We keep him off the track. He's playing around in the grass in the infield.
Well, this was quite different. Trev Ward leads the field in pit road, but pit road opened very early. He hadn't caught the pace car yet, and so that meant the field was actually quite spread out when they hit the pits. That might mean it might be harder for some drivers to gain. And yeah, that's Dalton overshooting his pit stall there.
Oh, so does Jeff Gow. Big mistakes. You can't make these mistakes. Dalton's really going to lose out there. Jeff Ward's out and away. Yazik's going to pick up a spot. Dalton gets out in front of Pepper, just barely. So Dalton's going to lose the spot because of that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's only 1 spot, to be honest. Now, a couple of lead lap trucks have stayed out. Stephen Herring and John Wilco, although my guess is they'll come into the pits this time by.
Yeah, here comes Herring now.
And Wilco is also on the apron. So this will move Ward back up into the lead of the race, and Yazik in second.
Sometimes the YouTube chat is just wrong, just flat out wrong. But we'll wrong and kind of funny at times.
Does the YouTube chat say, remember to turn off your internet security protection when you're playing iRacing, because otherwise pop-ups come up?
Not mine, but maybe some of our viewers have a problem with that. Oh, look who's at the front of the field right now. Now, not on the lead lap, unfortunately, James Carula. You know, actually, I don't think Carula had a disconnection. I think he got here late. Something happened there with James.
Now, what James is doing, of course, is because this isn't a high-speed oval, you're not burning up that much gas. Now, of course, you are compared to a road car, but he doesn't really have to worry about running out of fuel anytime soon. So right now, he's only 3 laps down. He's not 4 laps down. He'll get a wave around the pace car when there's 1 lap left to go under caution, and hope for another quick caution where he can change tyres. Now, Jonathan Lawrence is dropping all the way back right now. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him.
Yeah, well, Lawrence did have some trouble, but I don't remember him wrecking the truck. I wonder what did happen there to Lawrence.
He was sitting at pit exit for a long time. I wonder if he had to serve some kind of penalty.
Let me check his... Ooh, you know what? I think you're right, Sam. I think he maybe had to serve a penalty. He was only in the box for 3.4 seconds, but it was a 56.7 second pit stop. I'm wondering if it if maybe the exit was closed on his way out and he couldn't come out yet. I don't know, that's strange.
Yeah, because Lawrence had been running on the lead lap, but he has lost a lap under this caution for whatever reason. Like I say, he was sitting at the exit of pit road for a long time, so maybe he just took too many repairs and the pace car was too close for him, so they closed pit exit and he just had to drop back to the tail end of the field there. Another driver who dropped to the tail end of the field for this restart is Tommy Ryan, but that was planned. He came into the pits to top up with fuel, get some new tyres. I guess he wants to try charging through the field again. He'll restart in 18th position. Ward will lead the field back to green. Now in PRL, they'll let the leader choose which lane they want to restart in, so he's gone up high. Jarzik starting in second is on the inside, but Ward gets such a good start. This is probably good news for Jarzik. He can just pull up high, and Tyler Dalton does the same in third.
Yeah, Tyler Dalton giving Brian Jarzik a little bit of help there down the straightaway. Gives a little bit of a tap. Dalton got to be careful here. Paul Pepper all over the bumper of that Chevrolet.
See a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing towards the tail end of the field, but for the most part the front of this field has gotten single file, with Ward leading them around to complete lap number 31. Jarzik second, Dalton, Pepper, McQueistron round out the top 5.
Yeah, we were talking about Jonathan Lawrence. He just keeps losing spots here. Everybody going around him right now. Down on the bottom, and his truck just seems to be off.
It looks like a truck at the tail end of the field there. Got a little piece of a wall coming out of turn 2. Not the first time we've seen that. That's John Roden, one of the drivers on the lead lap. The problem is, I think Roden may have actually picked up damage from that, because he was sliding up in the high groove there in turns 3 and 4.
Okay, now I'm really confused. Scott Eckridge is actually on track now, completing his second lap. So I don't know what that's all about. Not sure.
Maybe he just wants to confuse us.
Maybe he's a plant, exactly. Put there by Brian Jarzik or James Cahoula just to mess with us. Jarzik getting a run at Ward here.
Yeah, Jarzik.
Good run at him.
Let's blame Cahoula. I don't think Jarzik's trying to mess with us. He's trying to mess with Jeff Ward.
Little surprise there, Tyler Dalton. Good start, was right there with Jarzik, and now he's just lost a little bit there to him. Got a half second back.
Also, a battle for fourth could be shaping up. Travis McQueistron was looking at perhaps taking the position from Paul Pepper coming out of turn 4. Didn't really have any kind of run though. Gets a little loose out of turn 2. Now you see 4th, 5th, 6th. Quite nose to tail. Top 3 have really broke away, and the top 6 have broke away from the trucks behind them, being led by Woody Mahan.
Yeah, you know what? Woody has been solid so far in this race. Got himself in 7th right now. Started just outside the top 10. Apparently, James Cahoula confirming for us that he had trouble with his internet and could not connect when it was time to race. So now we at least know what happened.
But like we say, it's only 3 laps down. He's hoping for... Well, say he's hoping for a quick caution. He might actually be hoping for another caution 20 laps into the future. My guess is, if that happened, all the lead lap trucks would pit again, and he'd probably try and get another wave around.
Well, right now, Casey Campbell's in front of him, so, boy.
But he'd still be able to get a wave around. Not
Yes.
the lucky dog.
Right. Yes, Sam. You're absolutely correct.
Here's a driver who would get the lucky dog. That's Treff Gow. Makes sense. Gow almost sounds like Bow Wow, which is something the dog says.
Sam, I laid out on you. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay, Billy Tungate trying to hang on a ninth spot. Justin Roden just got a run at him and then had to back off. So far, Billy having a good run. He's up 4 spots.
Hey, you know that position everyone's fighting over for, 12th place? Well, it's kind of on again. Brad Collins is in 11th. Jeff Ryan is in 12th. Haven't really mentioned him a whole lot tonight. He doesn't want to be in 12th anymore, though. He'd actually like a top 10, and behind him in 13th, Don Runkle Jr. isn't going to get 12th if he drives into the wall like that. That costs him a position to Tommy Ryan, and they may have actually had contact because Don Runkle Jr. is apologising to Tommy Ryan in the chat.
Yeah, Don's good at apologies. Usually apologizes to the field on the grid.
That's Cody Campbell, Casey Campbell off a pace there on the apron. He's 2 laps down already. Something else going on as we continue to watch this battle for 11th.
Yeah, and right now it's Jeff Ryan. Justin Run having a really, really good time here.
Well, you see, not only...
I'm sorry, Brad Collins.
Yeah, not only is it hard for Ryan to pull off this pass on the low line, but every time he attempts it, he's burning up his tyres more than the trucks on the high side. Because he's attempting to take a tighter turn. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is more trouble than it's worth right here, because if it doesn't work for him now, he's gonna... Not only are they losing time and burning up tyres, but Tommy Ryan has caught them both.
Yeah, and I think Tommy's probably screaming, "Get out of the way!" right about now. Wouldn't mind seeing both
Billy
of them.
Tungate, see him down there.
Yeah, Billy loses it off of 2. Boy, all 2 from here tonight. Yeah, boy, 2 is the hot corner tonight. Billy slides it off the track and right up against that Armco barrier. Not head on, able to just kind of door slam it there. Got some pretty good damage on the left side, though. A real tank slapper. He slowly makes his way around to the pit on what is part of the road circuit here for New Hampshire.
Jeff Ryan almost did the same the lap afterwards. He got loose actually in turn 2, and that will cost him a position to Tommy Ryan. Yes, they are relations. No, I can't remember how.
You know what? It eludes me right now, Sam. I don't remember either. Maybe somebody out there will help us out.
Oh, Jeff, go! Getting loose out of turn number 4 now. The problem for Jeff right now is he's actually no longer in the lucky dog position. Billy Tungate is. And of course, Billy will go further back now that he's in the pits. So Dow will retake the lucky dog position.
Tommy Ryan still back here trying to get around Brad Collins. I have a feeling it's going to happen here.
Yeah, well, Tommy, like we say, started at the back, carved his way through the field, pitted for new tyres and the top off for fuel on the last lap under the last yellow. So he dropped to the back again and is trying to carve his way through the field again.
He's about to take another peek to the inside there and then rolls out of it. Tommy running a smart race back here, Sam.
Yes, that's what Tommy does. He's very good at getting to the finish line with his truck in one piece, and usually in the top 5 too. Some drivers, a lot of drivers, are good at doing one or the other. Tommy's good at doing both.
I think Tommy might be taking it a little bit easier on the tires this time, Sam. I think that's why he's maybe not moving up through the field as quickly. Sitting here just right around the top 10. He's in 11th. Got a good partner here in Brad Collins. maybe no reason to push too hard yet. Tommy generally about the long game, as most of the unacceptable racing drivers are. This could all be part of the plan.
Battle for 13th place going on right now. Don Runkle Jr. and Stephen Harrin looking to the inside. And if Harrin fails, though, he could fall victim to actually nobody. That's James Cooler right there behind, who's laps down. But it doesn't look like Harrin's going to fail. He pulls it off on that low side.
More traffic coming for Snoop Doggy Don. Here comes James Krahula.
Of course, Don doesn't really have to worry about Krahula that much. He's not racing him. He's got to worry about John Wilco back there would be for 14th position. Now, of course, you may wonder, why are we concerned about this battle for 14th place? Well, there's 16 trucks left on the lead lap. So, the more trucks you can put between yourself and the leader, that can act as a buffer later on. By the way, I know we've seen a lot of trucks hit trouble today, but all 24 are currently out there on track, even if they are 30 laps down.
Sam, Tommy Ryan, and Brad Collins are back at it again. I think Tommy's finally pulled off this pass. He has. He's ahead of him now. Tommy Ryan up to 10th.
Hasn't been clean though. Look, he's got a bit of damage to his front right fender.
I think by the time this race is over, I think we'll see a lot of right front fenders that might have a little bit of damage on them, Sam.
Well, I know when we go to Darlington, we get a Darlington stripe. Do you get the New Hampshire grass? Like, is that considered a sign of achievement?
I do believe it is, Sam. I do believe it is.
Yarzik has not let go of Ward for the lead. He's still very close, less than half a second back. They've pulled away about 1.5 seconds over Tyler Dalton in third place as they make their way around John Rudden and put him a lap down. So now just 15 trucks left on the lead lap. Yarzik's there, ready to strike. Maybe doing around the pit stops.
Well, they've already gone further on this run than they did the first one. We've only had the one caution flag this evening. So certainly right now you've got to think that the tires are a bit of an issue for each and every driver out here. Tommy Ryan has caught Jeff Gow. Gonna probably be patient with Jeff just like he was with Brad. That's right, Jeff is a lap down. The director bailing me out here. I just looked at my timing and scoring. I'd see Tommy Ryan is still on that lead lap, and there he goes. Clears Collins. Clears Gow.
I know I was talking about Darlington Raceway just a moment ago. It's hard to compare this track to Darlington, Sean, but I think one thing that's comparable right now with the field being a little bit spread out is that these drivers aren't really racing each other as much right now as they are the track, because I think as we venture into these 30 laps on tyres, turn 2 is going to become more and more bothersome for these drivers. And Rodden hit the wall.
Yeah, he just slides up the track. Really, the truck got a lot of push on him. That's all about the tires. Truck got a lot of push. Tommy Ryan was able to get to the inside and take that spot away. It's another one for Ryan. Rodden's recovered well, though. Recovered real well. Right there up on the wing, not the wing, but the spoiler there of Tommy Ryan, and it's exactly what you want. You can smack it up a little bit, but it's how you recover.
Jonathan Lawrence heading into the pit. This can't be scheduled because we saw him down pit road under the first caution, the only caution we've had so far.
boy, nothing's changed up front. Jeff Ward just continues to put down blistering lap after blistering lap. 30 laps into his run. Over the run, over these 30 laps, he's lost about a second, Sam.
Yazik still hanging in there on Jeff Ward. Not close enough to make a lunge for the lead, but close enough to keep Ward honest.
You know who we haven't talked about? I haven't said his name, and that's Travis McQuestion.
I was going to say Daffy Duck, but okay, yeah. Travis McQuestion, we haven't mentioned him either.
No, McQuestion's one of those guys that always seems to find the bad luck. Not tonight. The Woodchuck Hard Cider Toyota in 5th. And right now, he's clear ahead, clear behind. And working on Paul Pepper just a bit. John Rodden in the pits.
It could be a scheduled stop. They could also be trying to get the repairs done on this truck. And of course, he's going to be the last one who will want a caution right now. The good news for him is it seems that cautions have been a rarity tonight. Incidents haven't, that's been for sure. A lot of drivers spinning coming out of turn 2. But most of the time they've just been sliding through the grass or hitting the inside wall, and iRacing hasn't thrown the caution. Don Runkle Jr. following him in. I wonder if now that we've seen one car pick for tyres, a lot of cars are going to do the same. Justin Rodden coming in.
Coming back in?
Yeah. No, John Rodden.
I'm sorry, John Rodden.
So this is Justin. We had John earlier.
Now I'm really confused. Am I just realizing there were 2 Rodden? No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I did.
Between... Go ahead, Sam.
Let's talk about something that's not too confusing, Sean, and that's halfway. Lap 125, halfway is 62.5, and it's lap 62. Well, actually, lap 61.5 right now. We've got to stall 10 seconds here. But anyway,
Right.
we got to do a halfway rundown here because they're about to award some points.
We are, Sam, and the completion of lap 63 should give this halfway award to Jeff Ward. I don't see him giving the position up here at this point. They're fighting behind him.
That's lap traffic fighting lap traffic behind him. Well, Ward did lead halfway. He led lap 62.5. Will he lead where the points actually paid though? That's lap 63. Yeah, looks like he's easily got it done. As the number 89 comes up, wins the first half of a race. This isn't stage racing though, we're not slowing it down. Let's keep going.
That's right. Your winner of the American Pool Supply Halfway Award goes to Jeff Ward this week in the trucks here at New Hampshire. Congratulations to him. 1st through 10th, they'll get their bonus points. Tommy Ryan picking up another spot there on screen, up to 8th.
Battle for 10th is on. The other Ryan, Jeff Ryan, looking underneath Brad Collins. Might be able to pull it off on the exit. Let's see if Collins is nice to him. Yeah, he's going to back off, and Jeff Ryan takes 10th position.
While we were going through all that there, I did see Scott Eckridge pull into the pit.
That's a shame. He was only 30 laps down. He had the chance.
In for an extended stop. Something's wrong there with Eckridge. He might have had some mandatory repairs. There was some damage on the right front of his truck.
Well, let's talk about the trucks that actually have a chance to win this thing right now. And that's, of course, starting with our halfway leader, Jeff Ward, who now has 1 second over Brian Jarzik and 3 seconds over Tyler Dalton. Paul Pepper, really haven't mentioned his name that much tonight, and I know that because his name is fun to say. He's running in 4th place right now. He qualified 4th, and he was 4th fastest in practice. 5th place right behind him is Travis McQueistron. Actually, that battle could be heating up quite soon. What does the tail end of our top 5 look like, Sean?
Well, Sam, here's what it looks like. Derek Paulson, there in 6th, all by himself. 4.5 seconds to McQuistion in front of him, and about another 3.5 seconds back to Woody Mahan, who now sits in 6th in the Budweiser Chevrolet. And we'll go back to 7th place, go back to 8th place. It's going to be Tommy Ryan. He's working his way around Norm Pelletier right now. Oh, and the yellow's out.
Oh, and it's on the backstretch, number 23 of Justin Rodden, spinning around, and bad news for Casey Campbell, who runs into him and blows his motor. Yeah,
we're going to watch the replay here. You're going to see Justin's truck come up the track just a bit there. Maybe a little both, them just meeting together. Him and Casey Campbell get together, and then Casey, unfortunately, hits him a second time there.
I think it may have been intentional.
I don't know about that, Sam. I think Casey ran out of track there, and maybe just couldn't slow it down enough. I don't know, because it really hurt Casey's truck bad. Oh.
Yeah, now you mention it, I wouldn't exactly blame the initial contact on Rodden, and it did seem like Casey maybe thought Rodden was going to slide down low.
Yeah, that cost him a tow. That cost Casey a tow. I'm wondering if he lost the motor there on that one. A lot of smoke.
Alright, well, Jeff Gow will win the Bow Wow Award, but let's catch up with him in just a moment, because our leaders are coming into the pits. Oh, no, here we go. We're going to see Broton. No, we're not. We're going to look back down into the pits where Ward is leading Jarzik, and once again they have a bit of a gap to the truck in 3rd place behind them, Tyler Dalton. Now remember, Dalton lost a position on the last round of stops, and Jarzik gained one. What will happen this time?
Well, he nails the pit stop. He's in the box clean. A little bit slower, though, on the jack. Jeff Ward got the advantage. I think Ward's going to be able to peel out of here first. There goes Ward. There goes Jarzik. Jarzik's going to win it again. Dalton going to have to settle for 3rd coming out.
Alright, and of course it's not the Bow Wow Award. It is the Coastal Safety. Yeah, that thing.
The Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog here. There's Brutus. Good dog, buddy. And the EB Games 92 of Jeff Gow there getting that lucky dog. Coastal Safety Auditors are your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. American Pool Supply Truck Series. It's pretty solid tonight. That's only 2 caution flags and 70 laps, Sam.
Yeah, everyone loves Brutus, except for my cat. She's running away from the screen right now with the dog on screen, but I don't think it may have been that. I did accidentally kick her in the head, so maybe that would be one. Yeah. Anyway, got some trucks in front of Jeff Ward on track right now, and their drivers who are going to be looking for a wave around. So that's Don Runkle Jr., James Kahula, Jonathan Lawrence, and once again, their tyres are going to be shot. But as far as fuel goes, you don't burn a whole lot of fuel around here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, so they're hoping that they'll get another caution at the right time, as Kahula's internet, though, is still having issues.
It's a bit wonky tonight. Yeah, James, I gotta imagine it's pretty frustrating to him right now. He knows what's going on. He's had some other drivers check in with him. But yeah, that's a tough situation for him. James not known to usually be one that has internet problems. Sam, after this round of pit stops, though, and everybody that came in, man, when we get restarted, if you've come in for a pit stop here at this caution, you're good on fuel to the end.
And that's going to be the case with all our lead lap cars, and that's also probably why Tommy Ryan has done coming into the pits to try and top off with fuel. He's going to race for these positions now, although still not exactly the position we'd expect Tommy Ryan to be in. He's back in 12th place, which I know has been a very desirable position tonight, but I'm sure he'd like to be 11 places higher. Was 6th fastest in practice. Computer only said 11th right there because he's pulling in front of a car alongside him under this caution. Alright, once again, Jeff Ward has lane choice in this league. So he's gone to the high side. Jarzik is on the low side underneath him. And these two, I think, will be hoping for similar restarts last time when everything went to plan. Well, went to plan for Ward, but has not gone to plan to Jarzik. Paul Pepper is on his outside, and that could be troublesome down in turn 1, although Jarzik drives in deep and takes a spot.
He does, man. What a nice drive in there by Jarzik. He sends it into the turn and gets away clean. Dalton tried to get a run there on Pepper. It does not work out. Look at Woody Mahan go. Taking his spot away from Travis McQuistion. Careful, Woody.
You see the disadvantage of restarting the inside, just how easy. As McQuistron and Mahan make contact. Hold on to it, though.
Nice save by McQuistion. Whoa, what a job by him. Kind of opened things up for Paulson, though. Here he comes.
It's the second half of a race, so restarts are going to get a bit more aggressive now.
Oh, Paulson almost runs right up on Woody. Has to back out of it then. Yeah. Tommy Ryan right down there in it too.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan just took 8th position away. Remember, we said he restarted 12th. Well, that would be to his advantage restarting on that high side, but now he's got to make the rest of his spots up the hard way if he can. See if he can get 7th in turn 3. Yes.
Yeah, Paulson gonna go ahead and let him go. Had nothing left there to fight with. Poor Tommy Ryan back up to 7th. I think that was about as high as he got before with 7th place, so I think he's matched that now. Now I got to get to work on Woody Mahan up there right in front of him in the Budweiser Chevrolet. No, actually, Woody's in a... No, he is in a Chevrolet. Look how much Tommy picked up on him there in the turn, Sam.
Catching is one thing, passing is another. And running hard for positions on the restart is one thing. Conserving your tyres for the long run is another.
This has been a really, really solid race here at New Hampshire tonight. Good, clean run. Everybody's been pretty patient with each other.
Yeah, but there's less laps now than there was before. Or as the old saying goes, there wasn't as many as there was a while ago.
Ah, yes, our old friend, Mr. Jackson. I know that tune too, Sam.
So, Ryan up into 6th position. McQuistron will be his next target. McQuistron, another driver who's really had the complete opposite day from Ryan. Ryan has been in the thick of it all, passing trucks. McQuistron's kind of just been riding here quietly, tail end of the top 5 right now, looking for a solid finish.
So, Sam, I'm curious, did they teach that song in British history or in American history here in the States? I'm curious.
I think I can't remember how I learned it. I learned it in America.
Okay. All right.
I can't remember how, and our director's telling me to talk about the racing, but this is really bugging me right now. I really can't remember how I learned it.
Boy. Oh, Jarzik doing his best to hold off Paul Pepper right now. I'm watching Jarzik. He's really, really hanging that truck out there on the edge. takes it all the way up to the wall just about every time around. Of course, make a liar out of me here. Let's see him get out of the turn. Yeah, he's going to bring it all the way up there again. And boy, it almost just seems like he gets a little bump off of it every time.
Let's talk about the other significant story here, of course, Sean, is that this is a huge points day playing out right now for Jarzik in second, while Kahula's back in 18th. The good news for Kahula is the attrition has been picking up a little bit. And he's only 2 laps down now because he hasn't hit under the cautions.
Yeah, he is. And so Kahula's still with a chance to get back on the lead lap. But, boy, with every passing lap, the time runs out for him. Jeff Ryan here looking get a little racy with Brad Collins back here. That's a battle for 10th. Ooh, maybe an almost contact. Rodden being careful. Jeff Gow's there down too. They say Rodden, I meant Brad Collins. All over the place tonight.
Brad Collins on the high side, Jeff Gow in the 12th place. If Gow loses out in this battle, that's okay. He still gets that nice 12th position that everyone wants. No, he wants 11th.
And Brad Collins gets to fight with everybody tonight. Finally, Gow gets back out of it. Lets him go. Here go Collins making a run here at the 88. Top side has seemed to be where the momentum's at. But, boy, a good trip through the turn there for Jeff Ryan. Keeps the distance safe.
I'll tell you who's been doing well since the restart, Sean, I think, and that's Paul Pepper. Because as Woody Mahan is in trouble, another driver loose out of turn 2, it will cost him a couple positions. He got a little bit of a New Hampshire grass, not the New Hampshire wall. I think he did the perfect New Hampshire grass slide.
Opens it up for Rick Thompson. Rick Thompson coming along across the line. They're going to give him the position. Can he hold it through turn 1 and 2?
Rick Thompson, we really haven't mentioned him tonight, and he's found his way up into the top 10 where he started there. Here's what happened to Mahan, by the way.
Yeah, he just loses the grip there. Really fine catch, and unlike other drivers this evening, he keeps it out of the grass and off the wall.
Well, he got a little bit of grass. I think what happened actually, Sean, is there was probably a frog in the grass down there going Budweiser, and maybe it was just bugging him. Wanted to kill it.
Ribbit. Yeah, Sam, you're really tough on the animals today. Well, Woody looking to take the spot back here. He's side by side with Rick Thompson through the turn. Can't pull it off.
Woody Mahan looking to get some frog legs on the competition here. He's going to look up to the high side, see if he can make that work around Thompson. Well, the answer there is going to be a good no, but see if he can try and get a good run out of a turn.
Did we mention Tommy Ryan got up to 5th and got around Travis McQuistion? I don't remember, but
it must have happened recently. Yeah, it just happened this lap.
It did, and boy, Tommy got that spot now in 5th. Okay, there's the replay. That's what we want to see. Tommy going to look to the inside down into 1, and he gets it. Going to have to fight just a little bit, but then slides up the track right in front of McQuistion up to 5th. The assault by Tommy Ryan continues, Sam.
It's the highest place he's been all night long, that's for sure. Fred Thompson in trouble. Sliding through the grass, stopped short of a wall, no caution. He's going to have to reverse to try and get it out of the grass, so do a 3-point turn here.
Got to be careful. Don't want to bring out that caution flag.
Being very careful, actually. He's going very slow through the grass.
Look at the replay here. Fred Thompson in that KFC Toyota. Coming through the turn. It's just basically what we've seen all night. Just a real lack of grip through there. You get to the pedal just a little bit too much and you lose it, but he did a great job of keeping her out of the Armco barrier.
Yeah, gave all the RV viewers there a nice view. I'm sure they'll be enjoying some frog legs and New Hampshire fried chicken tonight. Meanwhile, Jarzik has dropped back a little bit of Jeff Ward. And here's the driver I was trying to give a shout out for the job he's been doing since the restart. Is Paul Pepper, who pulled into that third position and is now holding on to it, although Tyler Dalton not far behind. And James Cahool into the pits. Remember, he had not pitted at all today to try and get laps back with the wave around. Well, eventually he does have to come in. And Trev Gow is in the grass now.
Cahool got 88 laps out of that run. But Gow hit the wall hard, Sam. Really hard coming out of turn 2.
He's got some damage to the rear of his truck too. Did he pick out up here? Yeah, looks like that was... It's not the right wall for him to hit.
Yeah, he hit... that's one of the few trucks coming out, too, that we actually seen make contact with the outside wall. More trouble! Wilco spinning right! Oh, out of 2! Here comes James Cahool.
And Wilco was running in 12th. He loses the ever-popular 12th position to Stephen Harron from this.
Wow. That was a close moment. Steve mentions on the radio how scared he was actually watching Rodden go through that. Boy, what a lucky moment there.
You don't need to go out and watch it, just play iRacing. Yeah, it's that time of a race, it would seem, where everyone's rear tyres are burning off a little bit. Yeah, that's John Rodden going 4th lap, actually a 3rd lap down right there. And that pack running for 2nd place caught him at the worst time.
They really did. Sam ran right up on him and almost ran him over. John did best he could there. Let's see the replay. How's it giving him the flyby, then Pepper, and then Dalton. Oof. Live on screen, Tommy Ryan just got by him. Travis McQuiston getting to him now.
And the battle for 3rd is on. Dalton wants this position back. Looking underneath Paul Pepper. Getting very close here. Almost sprinkling some pep on these frog legs and fried chicken. But Paul Pepper holding on. He has a desired high side as they complete lap 95. We're entering the closing stages of this race. But they can't do this for 25 laps. Can they even do it for 1?
Yeah, and
Three wide.
Fred Thompson. Ooh, boy, they had to get around Fred Thompson there. It was 3 wide for just a moment. Oh, Tommy Ryan's back there just loving this, Sam.
Absolutely, because he has the pace, I think, to pass these drivers if he caught them.
It's about 2 to 3 tenths faster a lap right now.
Let's not forget, Dalton could be running for a championship if Jarzik and Kahula ever have a bad round. Oh, and that's not what Dalton wanted if he had got hooked into the wall, but somehow they stay off each other and Dalton was able to make that work.
And here comes Tommy Ryan, and here comes another GSRC replay. On board with Pepper. There's Dalton right there down below him. Ugh. Wow. Dalton got really, really lucky there. Certainly Pepper didn't try to hook him, but that was almost the result.
Pepper stays in the container.
The pepper is on the shelf. The pepper is on the shelf. Tommy Ryan trying to get a run at Pepper. Is it there? I don't know. It really races This race is going away in really quick fashion this evening, Sam.
No one is safe. Even Jeff Ward coming out of turn 2 this time. His truck got really squiggly.
No, he can't afford to make a mistake because Krahula has had, not Krahula, I'm sorry, Yazik's had really, really good pace. See Snoop Doggy Don Runkle coming in the pits.
And I don't believe this would be scheduled. But I don't see any reason why it would be pitting. Even if he'd stayed out under the last caution, he'd pit around the halfway point. I had a feeling that would be enough to get him to the end.
Yeah, he should have been good to the end. He might have picked up a little bit of damage there on that truck. Maybe just abused the tires to the point that he felt like he couldn't drive it anymore, wanted to be safe out here. He's out of the pits, though, and leaders coming through. These three here, though, have been 3 peas in a pod for most of the night. Well, not necessarily Tommy Ryan. He's spent most of his night trying to get up there, and now that he's there, he's a present threat to Paul Pepper.
Paul Pepper being a present pea in the pod.
Man, that was... you don't want to bump him in a turn, Sam.
Just 12 trucks on the lead lap now. This green flag run's been going on a while, despite the slides that we've seen out of turn 2 that Jeff Ward just went by and put John Wilco a lap down. And I was mentioning recently how I think Paul Pepper have been doing a really good job on the restart. I wonder if it had been too good, Sean, as he burned off his tyres here, because we see him sliding around, and he might soon have to yield that position to Tommy Ryan, although, you know, with only about 20 laps to go now, no position is going to be gave up with a fight. Without a fight.
Yeah, indeed. Boy, Tommy really tail grabbing him right now. Now he gets to the inside. Now he's there. Oh, boy. They were able to get under Gao safely. Now the battle is on down the backstretch. Tommy actually seems to be handling pretty well down here on the bottom, Sam.
Yeah, well, remember we've seen Paul running side by side and sliding around if Tommy's been able to conserve his tyres a bit better, although, mind you, Tommy's tyres could be getting shot too. Recall, he restarted in 12th place and has worked his way up to 5th. You don't pass that many trucks without burning some rubber. Oh, there you see it. Oh, and a bigger slide behind, that's Trev Gow running the lap down in 14th place. That will not bring out a caution, and it probably won't even cost him any positions. The next truck behind him is Don Runkle Jr. He's 2 laps behind him.
And that spot that Runkle holds right now, James Krahula can get in front of him. They are on the same lap.
Meanwhile, the battle for 4th did not break up doing that, although Tommy Ryan temporarily yields the spot.
Yeah, no, Tommy's still trying to get it away. Get it away from Paul Pepper.
There is a change for 7th though. Woody Mahan has just taken it from Derek Paulson.
Oh, here we go again though. Up front here, Sam. Tommy looking to the inside of Paul Pepper. They're matched up again.
Tommy's really got to try and drive it in deep, but Paul Pepper knows he's got to try and do the same thing. The problem Pepper's might run into is if he overshoots the turn, but Tommy gets it there. Pepper thinking about the crossover.
They're having fun on the radio. Tommy finally gets it, Sam. He had been working on that for a while.
Now, of course, the big question is, does Tommy have anything for Tyler in front of him?
Boy, I'd got to say those tires don't feel great right now for Tommy Ryan. Anybody can do it, though. It's him. Just a little ways to go here to get Tyler Dalton. It's under a second.
Lap times 32.6 for Dalton, 32.3 for Ryan.
Tyler Dalton having to be careful up there getting around Don Runkle. Here comes Tommy Ryan. He's going to have to get around Don Runkle in the turn. Don going up the track and into the wall to get out of the way.
Don will have a bit of space before the 6th place truck of Travis McQueestring catches him.
Yeah, and Tommy has really pulled away from Paul. Paul now has really backed off just a bit.
Yeah, a lot of battles have broken up here. Let's go through our top 10 again. Jeff Ward has been in control of the field for pretty much most, if not all, of this race. As he completes lap 110, only 15 laps left to go now. Now you see 2.5 seconds over Brian Jarzik back in second. I'm sure Brian won't mind, though. He is having a great points day here. Tyler Dalton, also this will help him in the championship hunt. He's a bit further out of it, but this is the right thing to do, is get a top 5 finish, even if it's not 3rd place, because look how close Tommy Ryan is getting to him back and forth. And then Paul Pepper rounding out your top 5.
Boy, Tommy Ryan really trying to make a run for the podium. We'll see. In 6th, it's Travis McQuestion still holding it down. Woody Mahan continues to pick up spots. He's in 7th right now. Derek Paulson in 8th. Rick Thompson sitting down there in 9th. And Jeff Ryan rounding out the top 10, Sam.
Don Runkle Jr. just got into the wall again next to the in turn 2. Wonder how much his truck is starting to hurt, because we've seen him in the wall a couple of times, and I wonder if it's from earlier damage he sustained. His latest one, actually, I think, well, he may risk losing the position to James Kahula. And of course, the significant thing about that is Kahula being in that points fight with Jarzik. If Kahula is able to get, and we'll get back to that in a moment, as about for 3rd is on.
Tommy Ryan up to his tricks again here, Sam. Putting the pressure on Tyler Dalton.
12 laps left to go.
You know, starting from where Tommy did at the back of the pack, I did not think a podium was possible. I just thought it would be too tough at this track to pull it off, but quite honestly, the green flag runs we've had this evening have really helped his cause.
Of course, the official iRacing oval disclaimer, we do not have green white records on iRacing. So the caution comes out with about 5 laps to go, that will end it. And Tommy Ryan can't really afford to wait if he really wants his 3rd place.
Certainly think he's got a chance. It's not going to be easy getting around Dalton, though. I can assure you Dalton wants that spot bad. He's not going to give it to Tommy. A couple of Carolina brothers there, but trust me, when the green drops and you're racing to the checkers, that all goes out the window.
I can tell you, living in Carolina and driving on the roads around here, definitely don't respect every driver out there as my brother. But I think Ryan got very close to the wall coming out of turn 2 there. Of course, the big thing to consider is Tyler Dalton being more in the championship picture than what Ryan is he can't afford to race too aggressively. He really needs a good points day here.
Yeah, Dalton, as we said earlier, is sitting in that 3rd spot in the points coming in. Has Jarzik in front of him and Krahula behind him, so those are obviously not ideal to have Jarzik in front of him, but it would go a long way for him to hold on to this 3rd spot.
for 7th hasn't gone away either between Woody Mahan and Derek Paulson. Those two still nose to tail.
Yeah, and Paulson, after having trouble early, Sam, has really done a great job to recover this evening.
If you're going to have trouble, have it early. Gives you time to recover.
He started 5th and fallen back as far as, I think, outside the top 10, but now finds himself in 8th.
Paul Pepper just had a big slide out turn 2. Nothing new, and he...
I'm sorry, John Wilco had trouble out of 2 also, and then came back across the track right in front of Don Runkle. That was a scary moment.
Of course, there's always a scare that these drivers could get complacent in these closing stages. Think, the race is almost over, I know what I'm doing, and let down their guard and make a small mistake.
Yeah, Wilco was stuck up in that wall. You could see it there on the replay, and when he yanked the wheel to get it off the wall, it dragged him, or it shot him across the track there. He's still struggling to get it around.
And if a caution did fly now, the race would probably be almost over. Ward wouldn't mind a caution. Mind you, Ward wouldn't mind it staying green. I don't think Ward would mind anything. I don't really think anyone has anything for him.
He's Jeff Ward. He doesn't care. Okay, Sam? He just doesn't care.
Paul Pepper had another big moment, and the reason this is significant is that it's only about 2 seconds to Travis McQuestion behind him. If Pepper has another big slide out of turn 2, even if he doesn't go in the grass, McQuestion could get there within striking range.
You know, Sam, I'm beginning to wonder if Tommy Ryan has anything left for Tyler Dalton. You know, we talked about his ability to get there, but Tyler Dalton certainly probably one of the tougher drivers to have to pass. You know what? They're actually catching up to Yazik a little bit right now. Yazik seems to have slowed down just a bit.
Is it too little too late, though? Just 4 laps, 4 miles left to go.
Well, all you have to do is just lose the grip a little bit. Tommy putting the pressure on. Maybe even a little bit of a tap there on Dalton.
See, I know Tommy's a clean racer. I'm sure. I think he's a driver who has been known to bump and run in the past if he knows he can do it safely. I don't think this is really a track where you can get away with that, especially with a high track temperature.
I saw somebody call him Tommy Reinhardt. I'm sorry, Thomas Reinhardt. Thought that was kind of funny, actually. Sam, the window is closing. Quickly now. Very quickly.
Well, for him to make a move. Or for the bee to escape. Well, that's a good analogy, actually. Here we got Bee Wasp painted Chuck trying to escape from this 4th place box. And that's actually a really good move there. If he can make it stick. He couldn't. He couldn't get around. Oh, Tommy. That's another good move.
Yeah, he was just pushing it a little too hard there.
We're talking about McQuestion has caught and passed Paul Pepper for 5th place. We'll keep an eye on that on the final lap because the white flag is in the air for our race leader, Jeff Ward. So battle for 4th, a battle for 6th.
Yeah, Pepper back at McQuestion here.
Lots of battles going on in the top 10, and we'll try and get them all as they come across the line. Let's give credit where credit's due. The Jeff Ward, as he comes out of turn 4, and he is going to win here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Paul Pepper going to make one last run at McQuestion here on the exit of turn 4. Nothing doing. Pepper clips the wall and loses it. Slides.
He makes it across the line. I was worried it was going to lose positions there to Derek Paulson and Woody Mahan come across the line side by side. Mahan was far in front. I think they were just taking different ways to get by Paul Pepper. And Dalton was able to hold on to third place to beat Tommy Ryan across the line. Wow!
Yeah, wow, that was fun.
Absolutely it was, and we'll get to talk to some drivers who were in the heart of the action here. If you stick around on the GSRC, we'll come back with a full race rundown and driver interviews as Jeff Ward burns it down for the fans on the front straight. Don't go away. Hello and welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where we just witnessed the 2017 American Pool New England 125, and at the end of the day Jeff Ward came home the winner by 3.135 seconds, and then Tyler Dalton was in third place just ahead of Tommy Ryan. We had a battle for third at the end. Travis McQuistrom was in a battle for fifth at the end with Paul Pepper. McQuistrom won that. And then there was a battle for seventh at the end too between Woody Mahan and Derek Paulson. Mahan won that. Rick Thompson was in 9th place, and Jeff Ryan, a quiet ride for him, but a solid top 10 finish.
All right, Sam, let me take the rest of these guys real quick here. Brad Collins with an 11th place finish this evening. Stephen Herring, 12th. John Wilco, 13th. Snoop Doggy Don Runkle will finish 14th. James Crahula, 15th. John Rodden, 16th. Billy Tungate, 17th. Fred Thompson, 18th. Jeff Gow will finish 19th tonight. Jonathan Lawrence, 20th. 21st, going to go to Justin Rodden. Casey Campbell going to finish 22nd. Norm Pelletier, the third, finishes 23rd. And Scott Eckridge did make it into the race, ran 33 laps. And for his efforts, he will finish 24th.
Alright, well, let's get caught up with some of our top finishers. Sean, you've caught up with our 3rd place finisher, Tyler Dalton.
Mr. Dalton, that was quite a run. You had your hands full there with Tommy Ryan at the end. Why don't you talk to us about that battle a little bit? He was putting the pressure on you.
Yeah, that was a fun battle. All I gotta say is I appreciate having teammates, because I'm not sure he would have raced anyone else that gingerly. He didn't make any moves that would endanger us both, so that was a lot of fun. Honestly, he was faster. If he really tried to probably make a big effort, he probably could have passed me. But I appreciated the clean racing. And yeah, that was a really fun race. I think I had about a 3rd place car. I was running Yazik down at the end, but I don't know. That was just a really fun race. Burned some of my tires off trying to pass Paul there, but after I got by him, it felt pretty good.
Tyler, we got to get you into victory lane. One way or the other, buddy. I'm pulling for you, man. In fact, I had you in the cup race the other night. What's it going to take here? Ward not showing up, Yazik having a major failure, or can you get there? I think you've got the speed, man. I've seen you be the fastest guy in here week in, week out. Maybe a little bit of luck. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, a little bit of luck would definitely help. Seems like every time I go to a track I'm good at, something bad happens. So last week at Richmond, picking me for that race probably wasn't the smartest move. That's probably my worst track in iRacing, but I was running decent there for a while. But these flat tracks in the 1.5 miles are usually my forte. I'm looking forward to the Cup race at New Hampshire this Thursday, and I'm looking forward to when we go to Chicago.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, listen, congratulations on another podium finish. You needed a good run here to stay in this points battle. It isn't over yet, man. Anything could happen. This thing could be yours. You're chasing Yazik, not Jeff Ward. So good run tonight. And again, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Before I go, I'd like to thank a few people. I forgot to last week. Main thing, I would like to thank Todd Kirkwood Transport Services. He's put some of his own money into helping me be sponsored for this year. So I definitely appreciate that. And like I said, I got to thank all my teammates at Unacceptable Racing. Being able to run around those guys makes it that much more fun.
I'm sure it does, buddy. And, I just noticed you kept Crahula behind you tonight, too. So this is a big, big plus for you this evening. We'll see how those points shake out by the time we get here next week. But again, congratulations. We'll see you next week, man.
I'll see you then. Thank you.
All right, Sam. That was Tyler Dalton. And you've caught up with Mr. Yazik. He's joined us.
Yes, Brian Yazik has joined us. Raced a very smart race tonight. Brian the Brain, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I don't know how we're going to take over the world with a red swing line stapler and a stack of encyclopedias, but that'll be interesting, though. What are you thinking there, Sammy?
No, I was pondering this was a good points night for you tonight, even if you didn't win it.
Yeah, I kind of compare myself, and I know this is going to draw some of my fans, down the line, all three of them. I'm kind of an Alan Prost, back in the heydays of the late 80s and the early 90s. I know what I need, and I saw that James was having some connection issues to get in, so I just needed a really clean race. I wasn't gonna force something weird and get myself all squirrely and sideways and crap like that, and try to avoid all those things and put this HPP simulation Loud Pedal Motorsports machine up the podium as much as we could. And hey, we couldn't win. and lead at halfway, but we took second at halfway and second in the race, so that should be a pretty good point swing.
Absolutely, it should be. Now, how were you holding up with your tyres there? Because it did look like Dalton and Ryan were running you down at the end.
Yeah, I was trying a couple things earlier in that final run to see if I could maybe catch Jeff, experiment a little bit on a couple things, and I think it paid. I paid for it at the other end of that run, and that's kind of where I was looking in the relative, and I saw Dalton and Ryan basically keeping track and closing in. So I knew just kind of keep doing what I was doing, and we would lock down a pretty solid finish.
All right, only 8 races left to go in this championship. We go to Dover next. Do you think you can continue to cut into Krahula's points lead?
Well, I think, with his troubles and the drop, I mean, it depends on how the drop weeks go down, but I should have cut into it pretty good tonight, if not maybe taken it back, because that's pretty much how we've been most of the year. Dover is a fun track. I kind of like getting around there. And, kind of for the rest of the year, Iowa, Chicago, Martinsville, Rockingham, those are all pretty good tracks for me. So we just, first and foremost, we just have to keep the nose clean and keep all 4 tires on the pavement, keep it pointed the right way. And if we kind of focus on those things, we'll end up where we need to be at the end of the year.
All right, Brian the Brain has got that championship covered. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Brian. Going forward, what are you going to do tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I think I've got a nice evening in scheduled with the missus.
That's enough.
Yeah. It's not going to. Don't worry. It's we tried some hard cider stuff tonight, so I think tomorrow we might stop by the store and actually get the big bottles of those. So that'll be exciting. Maybe watch some Shrek.
Shrek.
Have fun with things. I don't know. I'm just a big ogre, and she's a hot redhead, so it works out really nice for us.
Yeah, you're dude. You are hitting way out of your demographic there, buddy.
Oh,
I don't know how you work that
I was
out.
trying to go for another Pinky in the Brain reference. Now, Sean, you're going to have to talk to our race winner about Shrek.
Have a good one, boys.
Thanks to Brian Yazik. Always love getting him in here. Jeff Ward is the big winner tonight, though, and we need to talk to him. Jeff, congratulations, brother. It never gets old talking to you. It doesn't get old watching you win either. Not for me. I'm a big fan. And, boy, you put on a little bit of a clinic here tonight at the Magic Mile.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. It doesn't get old being here, I'll tell you that. I've said before, you get on a streak, you just got to keep riding the thing, and that's what we're doing until it ends. So that was a fun race, man. Those long green flag runs there really kind of benefited the way the truck was driving tonight. It was pretty good on long runs. Them guys were able to get right there with me on a short run, but I think after about 25 laps, it seemed like the truck started coming in real well there, right in the middle of the track, and was able to make some ground. But hats off to the whole field really for running such a clean race. I think we had 2 cautions. So that was a blast tonight.
It really was. It was a real joy to watch. I love when we get these green flag races like this. Now I know you guys run the fixed set. We talked about that. Is this the iRacing fixed set for this track?
Yeah, I think it was the default. Usually, I think Scott will tinker with it, and usually that's why he sets these truck races out, because he's the one that builds the setup usually. But
right.
I think it might have just had a gear change. I'm not sure, but that's usually what they do. If it's a lot of times they'll wind out before they get to the turn, and they just got to do a little gear change. But it's usually the iRacing default.
Which, and if that's the case, boy, they certainly put together a pretty good setup here for this track. That truck really, like you said, it seems to run better on the long run. We saw everybody have trouble coming out of 2 tonight, though. What was it like for you getting off of turn 2? Were you extra careful getting out of there? Yeah,
because 2's got kind of that change in incline there, where it'll kind of throw your your tail end around if you ain't careful. But it was real tight getting in, and then you had to feather it getting out of the turns there. So it was, it was a handful really, especially early in the run. It seemed like it was looser to me, and it got tighter as the run went on.
Well, you got a full week here at the Magic Mile, and then I think we go right on to the Monster Mile up there in Dover. I think the way you were hooked up tonight, this stands to be a pretty good week for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I hope so. In the past, it hadn't been one of my favorites, but seemed to be able to get around it okay. So I'm looking forward to going there in the Xfinity. I don't know what we're going to have in the Cup car. I haven't turned much laps there, but hopefully we'll have a top 5 car there as well.
Well, you do pick up your 9th win, and that's probably going to get you, it is going to put you in front of Travis McQuistion. You'll probably move up to 7th in points when that goes official. Congratulations, sir. You continue the journey, and you're doing it the hard way. You've missed, 6 races on the rest of these guys, and wins are the only thing that'll get you there. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, just thanks to you guys. My dad usually tunes in for these, so if he's watching, I'll say what's up to him. Thanks to my teammates there at Loud Pedal. Thanks to PRL and Brian, James, all the guys for running such a good league. It's always fun. So and just family and friends, man.
Jeff, thanks a lot, buddy. We'll see you soon. Have a good one. Go and celebrate this one.
We'll do it. Thanks, guys.
All right, Sam, that was our big winner, Jeff Ward. Another win in the books, number 9 on this season. And that was race number 13 for him. So Ward, a pretty tough guy to beat these days.
Absolutely, I think he's been a tough guy to beat ever since he came onto the scene. We've seen him a lot with our friends at the Premier Racing League, and we'd like to thank him for putting on the American Pool Supply Truck Series. Also, thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcasts. And there you can see them listed on your screen, Sean. We got some good music too.
Yes, we do, and then we always want to thank Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde for that great music. You can find their music at the websites listed on screen. For more information about future races, you can see the list on screen here in just a moment, or you can go to our website where we got a full schedule of events there, the globalsimracingchannel.com.
Yeah, and we're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. These guys will race at Dover next week on another mile track, but it's quite a different one. But next time we'll be on the air with the Premier Racing League American Pool Supply Truck Series. We'll be back with them on October 1st for round 25 at Chicagoland, so we hope to see you there. And that will be 9 p.m. Eastern Time on October 1st. Congratulations again to our race winner tonight, Jeff Ward. So, for Dougie Beard, Joe Peak, and Sean Ambrose, I'm Samuel Ryman reminding you to race clean, race hard, watch Shrek, and we'll see you on the track.